Hey guys, welcome back to another video. I'm Combat Craig, and today we're talking about 100% permanent and total disability benefits. So as you're going through the education process, filing your VA claim, getting a rating, staged rating, however you're doing it, beginner, intermediate, advanced. I'm not advanced, I'd say I'm intermediate. You are where you are, and you're as old as you are. So no matter what level you are at the process, doesn't matter what your age is, how much you know. One thing I could tell you is 100% permanent and total is what we're all shooting for here. We all deserve it. So let's cover some of the benefits at the 100% P&T rate. If you like this kind of content, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to my channel. And if you want to learn more about the VA claims process, check out my boot camp. There's a link in the description. And if you need medical evidence because your current doctor, private doctor, VA doctor won't give it to you, you need a current diagnosis, symptoms, and a nexus for every disability you file a claim for, hit up my med team. There's an email address in the description for them as well. So P&T stands for Permanent and Total Disability. It's a rating classification for veterans who have disabilities that are both total and permanent. Although permanent and total is a term you'll often hear in reference to disability ratings, since they do go together for many veterans, you can also have a permanent or a total rating. So what I'm talking about is permanent and total together. P&T, baby. 100% P&T is often considered the holy grail of VA ratings because the compensation is substantial. It's the highest you can get. After you've had it for 20 years, can't be revoked. When you have P&T status, your disabilities are considered to be static. And then if all your disabilities are static, what's that mean? That means no routine future examinations, RFEs. In this video, I'm going to share with you my personal top 10 VA benefits for disabled veterans that are 100% permanent and total. P&T status. Number one is VA disability compensation pay at the max rate. Perhaps the very best benefit available to 100% disabled veterans is VA disability compensation pay. So there's a lot of different benefits. It depends on, where you're at, how many dependents you have. That's a big factor. But just kind of at the root cause of it, it's money. Veterans Benefits Administration deals with money. Veterans Healthcare, a whole separate deal, deals with healthcare. So we're talking about money, and this is the best benefit, I think, that you could have. Money, but $3,300 a month can make life a little bit easier doing whatever it is that you do. For me, it's decorating the basement, buying camera equipment to talk to you fine folks. If you have a disability that was caused or made worse by your active duty military service, you may be eligible to receive tax-free monthly compensation for life. Veterans can prepare and file their own VA disability compensation claims for free, and you do this by opening a notice of intent to file on the VA's website. And once you open your intent to file, it's like a placeholder, and it holds your place for 12 months. So open your intent to file. Go build your claim. You need to have a current diagnosis, current symptoms, and a nexus for every disability you want to file a claim for. You don't need to file more than 2 or 3 disabilities in one claim. And if you get it and you want to file more and you want to add more to it, I wouldn't do all that. Just send in 2 or 3, get a decision, get some momentum, figure out where you're at, and then go back and hit them again. Keep going until you're 100% permanent and total. Another thing that is captured in 100% permanent and total status is VA pay for dependents. So this one means you need to have a 30% VA disability rating, and then you start getting paid for your dependents. There's lots of dependents. Click on this link below. It'll show you all the breakdowns of, children, mothers, fathers, all the people that qualify for it. If you're not service connected, 0, 10, or 20%, there's no VA dependent pay. That starts at 30% or above, and if you're 100% permanent and total like me, you get it. Dependency and indemnity compensation, DIC benefits for dependents. If you're the surviving spouse, child, or parent of a service member who died in the line of duty, or the survivor of a veteran who died from a service-related injury or illness, let me stop right here. This is one reason to go after something if you're, putting your strategy together and you have family members. I don't, so I don't talk about this. You might. If you can't get 100% P&T, look at TDIU. You need your strategy worked on. Anyway, moving on. One of the things you could do is get service connected for something, and then you could get DIC benefits if that's what causes you to die. It might be part of your strategy, something to think about. DIC benefits, they could be money when you're not here anymore. If you get DIC benefits, you may be able to get a tax-free monetary benefit called the VA Dependency and Indemnity Compensation. VA-DIC. And also another place to learn about this stuff is in my boot camp. Check it out at combatcraig.com. There's a link in the description. The fourth one on my list tonight is the property tax exemption. This varies from state to state. It's literally different in all states. I wish this would be a federal thing. But, I'm out here in Idaho and I'm not paying property taxes, so it's working for me. But, it really depends on the circumstance, but I get it. If you live in a more expensive state, probably not going to work as well. If you live in a place like Wyoming, Idaho, you name them, not the East Coast or the West Coast. Many states offer property tax exemptions for disabled veterans, but there are 18 states with full property tax exemptions for 100% disabled veterans. That's huge. Let me know if you're on one of these. Put them on the screen right now. While not all 50 states offer the same tax brackets for disabled veterans and the criteria to qualify for a waiver differs, it's in your best interest to check with your state county assessor's office. And this is wide-ranging, so this is something I learned on my own. So I live in a county, I live outside of a city. I had to go find out what's going on with my county assessor. Good thing I live in a very non-populated area, if that's the word. Unpopulated, non-populated. So walk right in, nobody's there. And she laid it all out for me. You fit here, this is the form you need to fill out. And this is something that I need to do on a annual basis. I need to do it between January 1st and I believe it's tax day, like April 14th. And I have to submit this thing, property tax exemption. I need my homestead thing. And then I do the disabled veteran thing, just calling them things because they're things. And then I don't pay taxes. So, it works differently for different mortgage companies and in different states. But county assessor will know what worked for you and what's available. And if they don't know, they'll get the answer, unless they're like the DMV, and then they are DMV people. Number 5 is Chapter 35, Dependents Educational Assistance for Dependents. This is the DEA program, and nope, I don't mean the DEA that the Pablo Escobar DEA. Different DEA, the good one. The VA Chapter 35 Benefits Program, also called Dependents Educational Assistance, provides education benefits and or special restorative training for eligible dependents, children and spouse, and survivors of certain veterans and service members. Eligible dependents can receive up to 36 or 45 of full-time or equivalent benefits for any of the following: college, technical, vocational, degree programs, independent study, online distance learning, or correspondence courses. It's wide-ranging. There's a link for that in the description below. Check that out for your dependents. And if you need medical evidence, hit up my med team. There's an email address for them in the description as well. The 6th one on the list is Chapter 36, Personalized Career Planning and Guidance. As the dependent family member of a service member or veteran with a service-connected disability, you might be able to get this educational and career counseling benefit through Personalized Career Planning and Guidance, aka Chapter 36 program. If you meet both of these requirements, number 1, you're the dependent of a veteran, and number 2, you're eligible for certain VA education benefits. Number 7, CHAMPVA health insurance for dependents. The CHAMPVA stands for Civilian Health and Medical Program of the Department of Veterans Affairs. CHAMP VA. It's a health insurance benefits program in which the Department of Veterans Affairs shares the cost of certain healthcare services and supplies with eligible beneficiaries. Generally, CHAMPVA covers the cost of most healthcare services and supplies that are medically necessary for your dependents that qualify. In a nutshell, if you're 100% PNT, your dependents probably qualify for completely free civilian healthcare. That's the bottom line. There's a link in the description. Check it out. Make sure, you're not outside of it, but that's basically what it is. Dependents covered. Next one up is the VA Aid and Attendance benefit. The VA Aid and Attendance or household program is a VA pension benefit that helps cover the cost of daily living for housebound veterans and or those in nursing homes. Aid and attendance benefits are a form of special monthly compensation added to the amount of a monthly pension for qualified veterans and survivors. So now we're talking about special monthly compensation. So you're 100% permanent total, maxed out, $3,300 a month and change. Special monthly compensation goes above that. This is where aid and attendance comes in. I'm talking more about the pension part of this, but there's also special monthly compensation S, which is housebound and close to this. So you'll fit into one or the other or none of these. You can't receive both at the same time. So whatever one pays most, that's what I'm picking. And number 10 is the National Parks Veterans Benefit. So this one's good. And I was a little confused on this initially when I got my National Parks card and I decided to go venture out to national parks, but now I live by one about 2 hours away from Yellowstone. So little fun story. Drove from my spot in Southeast Idaho, went to Jackson Hole, Wyoming. Raise your hand. You ever been to Jackson Hole? Yeehaw. Pretty bitchin'. So from there, I was like, all right, let's go check out the Grand Tetons. We're kind of doing tour guide thing, like Out of Towner came. This is probably 2 months ago. So cool. Grand Tetons are right there. So I don't know. You see them, Grand Teton, which is about 14,000 feet. You see it about 10 minutes down the road. But to get into the park, Grand Teton National Park, I don't know, it's probably a half hour, drive up to the gate. I don't have my card. So I was like, I don't have my card. And I showed him my, VA ID. And the guy, it's total shift. It's so unlike going to the VA where they just think you're a number and whatever, right? It's like, oh, you're a veteran? Perfect. I'll just give you another card. So I got a new card and they let you in for free. So normally for normies, it's like $35. You got that VA card, it's free. And then, if I had my card, they still would have checked for my VA card. So make sure you have that. But everybody in the car gets in for free. So moving on with the trip, went to Grand Teton, drove through that. And that takes you to the east entrance of Yellowstone. And then you have to, pay again. I don't know how it works for normies because I'm not a normie. I'm a veteran, disabled veteran. So I just cruise right on through, show my card again, show my ID again. Make sure you get out to the national parks. If you don't live by them, I did that for a long time, move somewhere where they are. Next up on the list is Glacier. And yes, I do all this stuff sporadically when I'm feeling all right, feel like going outside of my basement. Sometimes I'll hop in the car, go for a drive, but not during the summer. So that's my list of my top 10 veterans benefits for 100% PNT disabled veterans. Some of you may not. Take this information and go get paid. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you in the next video.